my little audio check. I'm counting on you guys for that. I hope you're having a lovely day. Here we go. Don't forget when this live is over and YouTube is processing it, sometimes the audio is a little quiet for about 24 hours, but then it'll get back to normal. Today, we're talking about how to fix a dress that you hemmed too short. There's lots of reasons for why dresses can end up being hemmed a little bit too short. And this dress actually, in all honesty, it's not that it was hemmed too short. It looks like that. But what happened was this bride, her weight was tracking just fine. The bodice was fit to her. We marked the hem. We were moving on to the lower part of the dress. She gets married very soon, so it's not like we jumped the gun. And then she lost a good bit of weight. So I'm trying to think how much. She lost 3 inches since when we marked her hem. So that means, sorry, earthquake. I bumped the camera. That means when we take this, when we take in a dress that much, it's going to bring the sides in a little bit more than it was before. You're going to deepen that angle of the dress like this, and it's going to make the dress shorter. So I like to cut a hem with at least 1 inch hem allowance. That's usually about normal for me. And so she needs just about this whole amount now. That's the beauty of leaving extra hem allowance. It does give you a little bit more body too in a bagged hem. So I'm gonna show you a few changes that I'm gonna make when I finish this hem so that it won't be too short when she tries it on, hopefully. The other thing we can do if it does seem still a little bit too short is we can reduce that angle that's happening at the waist just a little bit. We could put a waist stay in the lining layer, and the outer layer I could just back that angle off just a little bit, and you'd be surprised how much that will drop a hem length. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to make a few different changes. So her original hem had the horsehair braid along the lining, like kind of toward her legs. It wasn't between the layers. I'm not a fan of that. So we've cut this free where we hemmed it. I'm gonna just finish this edge off and sew it too. I'm gonna go ahead and do like a traditional bagged hem where we see the horsehair in between the layers, okay? The other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move from this very stiff 4-inch horsehair braid. I'm gonna move into a lighter horsehair braid that's more narrow. That way the dress doesn't push out so far. The further out the dress pushes in the front, the shorter the dress is going to appear. It's not actually shorter. You can measure the length. It's the same, but it's just the optical illusion from it coming out. So like if these are her feet and it's floor length, but you bring it out, see how it looks shorter? Okay, that's what happens with the skirt. So is her dress gonna lose a lot of fullness by switching out the horsehair? Is it gonna kind of change the design and possibly upset her? No, it's really not gonna make a big difference because we're still gonna have this on the sides and the train. I think it's going to be fine. Also, this is not a super full ball gown. This is not a girl who's like, oh, I want to be like, like a Cinderella's carriage, basically coming down the aisle, and I want to add, a couple crinolines inside and be super full. It's not that kind of situation. So we're going to be fine in that regard as well. I do have a video that I did a few years back of how to fix a hem that you cut too short. And we do go into some of these things. So let me see if I've got some ribbon here. Got some Peter Sham. That'll be nice. I'm gonna go like this. Sew it too. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. As always, when I get to a stopping point, I'm going to stand up and look at your questions and address them. All right. Oh goodness, you guys keep getting bumped. I'm so sorry. I'm going to put the dress down on the floor here in a minute. And this will be fine when we press it. It's Peter Sham, so it's very easy. Look at that, how you can like schmooze out the wrinkles. They're gonna disappear, so not worried about that. Let me get her on the floor so she stops bumping you. So again, this is the transition from that 4-inch horsehair that's a little bit heavier. Let's hide that edge in there. Same over here. Push that little edge in. Guys, I didn't know if I was going to be able to do the live stream today. We had a pipe burst last night at my house. So we didn't have water this morning. And I didn't know how late I was going to have to stay at the house waiting on somebody to show up to fix it. They came really fast, though. I'm telling you, they're saying some of the jobs that are the most safe against being lost due to AI, they're jobs that have this fine physical manipulation. So sewing is one of them. Obviously, you can't get a robot to assess people and do this kind of sewing. That's just not going to happen for a very, very, very long time. And then they also say plumbers, right? Plumbers are safe. And let me tell you, that plumber is safe. The bill, it was for an hour. He used, I don't know, maybe, you know, PEX pipe is kind of expensive per foot. So it was maybe like, I don't know, $10, $20 worth of PEX pipe that he swapped out. And he was there for an hour. Let me guess. It was $17 worth of PEX pipe. His bill was $517, guys, for 1 hour. And my husband was even upstairs, like feeding the pipe down to him. So it's not like he was having to run back and forth. Oh dear, here we go. Great lesson when your horsehair braid does this. Like to snip that pulled piece and pull it back through. All right, so I'm gonna put this horsehair braid, excuse me. I'm gonna put this horsehair braid still about 1 inch from the edge here. It does not, contrary to popular belief, your horsehair braid does not have to go all the way to the edge of where your seam is gonna be. You want it kind of close, but it doesn't have to be perfectly to the edge. It's still gonna give it body without that. So I'm giving myself a little bit of grace by backing it off of where I'm gonna sew. And I'm sewing it, I don't know, about 3/8 of the way down. Some people like to sew their horsehair right on the very edge. They think it looks kind of like neat to do it that way. The problem with that is I find that the horsehair can get a little flippy. Let me just check your comments real quick, see how you guys are doing. Let's see. Zoe, hey. Girl, I am this close to abandoning the internet and buying an AI-proof brick and mortar business. Ain't that the truth? Chris, yes, your hands need a break. This is a crazy season. Everybody is saying that. Why is everybody getting married right now? Ulawasi, I hope I'm saying your name right, is your machine industrial. What brand is that? So it's a Juki. It's actually it's a DDL 5550N. Nowadays, if you were to buy one, you'd probably do the Juki 8700. And I tag those interchangeably in most of my videos. If you ever want to see what I'm using, like any type of supply, you can go to my website, bridalsewing.com, and I have a whole page dedicated to the sewing supplies that I regularly use. Most of them are Amazon links, and you know how that is. The stores come and go. So just follow the link. If the store or the product is no longer there, don't worry about it. It still gives you the information you need to search it. Man, this horsehair braid is walking. Look at how far I'm pulling it over, and it's still walking. I might have to undo that and pull that down. I'll look at it in a minute. Let's see. Yeah, brick and mortar, they're saying, is the way to go. These service industry jobs where we use our hands. So we're pretty safe, I feel like. There we go again. Artisans, creatives, they say we're pretty safe. We'll see. We're also, guys, did you see that? We're on the calendar looking to see. Oh yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, I'll go back to here. We're on the calendar to be due for a recession. You know how it's like the patterns as far as like timelines and stuff. That's where we're at. So you guys make sure you're pricing accordingly. Make sure you're doing contracts. Don't you dare take a job that's for next year and you quote them one itty bitty number. And hey, contract or no contract, you're in trouble. I always say, put you some ranges on those work orders, girls. Ranges, okay? That's going to help you when our work is, you know, like the plumber that came this morning. He gave us the quote before he did the job, but he was doing the job like that hour. We're doing jobs, we're quoting jobs that are sometimes a year or two out. And you don't know what your world is going to be like that far out. Think about COVID, the difference between fall of 2019 and summer of 2020, right? I can feel a burr on this. This guy's going. Sometimes you're catching your horsehair because there's a burr, and sometimes it's just not your day. And you're just catching your horsehair. It's hard to say. All right, let's get this. And I definitely should have threaded that before I put that in there. Let's see. Yay, look at that. Okay. Here we go. We're gonna try to get a little bit closer to the edge. And we're gonna try to schmooze out that pull that we got. Here's what I was talking about earlier. See that V? I don't know if you can see it super well. Look, it just goes right on down the line and keeps on going. So you can find kind of an intense spot, go halfway down, spread that out so you can still use it. We are not throwing our horsehair braid away just because it did that. It'd be different if this is on the outside of the dress. This is between the layers, okay? Everything's fine. I posted in the Discord this morning. I'm seeing some cute stuff. It's October 1st, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I'm seeing some cute stuff about that. Don't forget to do your checks, people. I don't care if you're in your 30s. I feel like we're living that hashtag poisoned life. Environmentally, food-wise, whatever. We're surrounded with, endocrine disruptors. I don't care if you're 30 years old. If you haven't been checking, you need to check. So that's your friendly reminder. It's October. All right, so you can see I'm kind of trying to keep a steady pace here. Sometimes that can help the horsehair braid not to get snagged, but sometimes it's just not your day, you know? Back to the sewing machine topic. Obviously, like, I didn't buy it this color. I do have some shorts. I did a short series on it. It was time to kind of like deeply refresh the machine, you know, replace the belt and just take things apart and deep clean and put her back together. Tighten up the table, change the oil, all that fun stuff. So when we did that this past, I think it was late spring, early summer. I don't really remember. I think it was early summer. I just went ahead and broke down the whole machine, and I don't know why my feed dogs are not in the mood today. I broke down the whole machine and sanded it, stripped it, the whole nine, and sprayed it 3 coats of enamel plus clear coat, and then just put the decals on there for fun. So you don't really buy a machine that looks like this, but it's pretty easy to customize. If you want to do it, go for it. Make it on theme for your sewing room. Nobody's coming to get you. If you, you know, make your machine like strawberry shortcake if you want. Paint it like it's patchwork if you're into quilting. You really can do that, and it's not a big deal. Will it chip? Yeah, just like my original paint job chipped. My original paint job was chipped all to pieces. So yeah, it'll chip. Something heavy already fell on it. It was sharp and heavy because it took a chunk, like a chip of paint all the way down to the metal, like all the way down through even the original paint. No kind of paint is going to be able to stop that from happening, you know? It's just life. So for those of you who are joining right now, we're trying to fix a dress that we hemmed too short. That's what we're discussing today. So it's not that we cut it too short. That's fine. The bride, I always say girl. I don't mean anything by it. That's just what I say. But anyways, the woman, gets married soon, but she dropped 3 inches since her prior appointment. Her prior appointment, her dress fit. We marked her hem. We're ready to roll. And then she came in the other day and had dropped all this weight. And so that means when we take in the waist more and increase that angle at the waist, her hem's going to be too short. So the beauty of that is I did have an extra inch hem allowance, so we're going to use that. And I'm swapping from a heavy 4-inch horsehair braid to a lightweight 2-inch horsehair braid. Every now and then you'll see jagged little pieces like this. It doesn't matter. I like to do a thing called notching as I go. That just happens to be a huge one. It's gonna be fine. See, here's one. You put little slits in it. As long as they don't go up high, it's fine. And when you're sewing it back together, you align those little slits or notches, whatever you want to call them. You align those, and then that way you know that one layer is not walking away differently from the other layer. I cannot believe there's so many seamstresses that have never even heard of that. And I'm like, I cannot imagine my life without notching as I go. Like, it just helps me so much. Sometimes I forget when I'm cutting a hem and I cut it all like smooth and pretty. And then I'm like, no, what was I thinking? We've got a problem. Yeah. So don't make that mistake. Just notch as you go so it's not hard to line them up. All right, so same thing on this end. I'm gonna cap the end of this horsehair braid. So I gotta kind of get it out of the way here. There we go. Peter Sham. Peter Sham it's been historically used in tailoring for hundreds of years. It's lovely. It looks like grow grain. Blah, blah. I always say that Peter Sham is what grow grain wants to be when it grows up. It's beautiful. It's got a little bit of a shine to it, but it's not like a flashy shine. I would just say it's a little bit of dimension, nice finished look to it, but you can get it to like curve just a little bit. You can really work with it at the ironing table. So it's not as rigid as grosgrain. You know those gross hair bows your mom used to stick on your head when you were a kid? And they literally make a sound. They're so stiff. Hey, guilty as charged. I stuck them on my girl's head too. That's just how it goes. And also, I don't mind if the tip of this gets caught in our new hem. I'm okay with it, but I'm still gonna angle it up just a little bit so I don't have too much stiffness caught in there. I'm hiding these little corners in. And the other thing, I mentioned it when I was on the other end, just for you latecomers, all of this rumpling is gonna press out. Peter Sham, when you get it to the ironing table, it's like, I ran out of bobbin again. It's like, yes, ma'am. What do you want me to do? Yes, ma'am. Whatever you want. Yes. It's like the little happy to please golden retriever of the ribbon world. All right, so let's get us another one here. I've just been using yards and yards and yards of thread. September and October have been brutal for everyone in this industry this year. It's so many brides getting married right now. I don't know what the little boom is from, but we have quite a boom. My daughter counted our brides last week. I heard her telling someone. She said, we had 20 brides last week. It's insane. And we're just working night and day. Yesterday, I had 3 brides who were final pickups. They get married Saturday, like 3 of them in one day. And then countless girls coming on Thursday and Friday. It's really a brutal, brutal time. All right, let me find my vent. To make a vent, because we haven't worked in this dress yet. All right, so I'm gonna do it right here, center back seam. This is the lining of the train. Gonna open this bad boy up. And now I'm going to sew this as close to the edge as I can get. We're not going to use that whole 1 inch hem allowance. And then we're going to press it. And I think she'll be okay. For those of you who missed it, I'm also going to do one other thing when I get her in it. If it's still a little bit short, Now, okay, I haven't had a fitting, obviously this hem isn't finished. So I haven't had a fitting with her where I'm like, oh no, the hem's too short. That's not what's happened. I just know it's going to be too short compared to where I put the pin originally, just because she has had that most recent fitting that was kind of a detour. The dress was just way too big for her unexpectedly. So my daughter actually ran that fitting and she texted me and she was like, don't do the hem, Mom. At least not according to the pin, you know. She's like, it's going to be too short. She's lost a bunch of weight. So there's that. Let's clean up this mess in here. So I've got the pretty outside is facing up, and then the right side of the lining, we're going to have that facing it. Let's get these together. Okay, here's my notch, and here's my notch. So I'm going to line them up. I know that they were aligned when I was cutting this hem, and that's going to be my guide there. Okay, here we go. Sewing kind of at the very edge. I'm going to trim that little tail away. Never you fear. At the notches, I may have to rise just a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be a noticeable problem. Cut this mess off. This is a mess. This fabric is just outright unraveling, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to take a little break here in just a minute and read your questions. So drop them in if you have them. So my next landmark is I'm aligning my side seams. Okay, I've got my notches. I'm gonna get as close to them as I can. And then my side seams. I'm gonna keep going all the way around. Coming to look at your questions. Align my little notches. So essentially I'm just gonna do this all the way to the other end. You saw how I tapered. It's gonna be the same, and then I'm gonna press it, okay? So I just made that hem as long as possible. It's not rocket science. The funniest thing, guys, I saw the t-shirts that the servers are wearing at Chili's now. What do they say? It's not rocket surgery. Instead of brain surgery / rocket science. They said it's not rocket surgery. All right, let's check it out here, people. Let's see. All right, let's see. Oh, I pronounced it right. Good. Yeah, tariffs are not plain. Yes, Zoe, you can absolutely put an expiration date on the quote. The problem is when we're dealing with brides, we know what their wedding date is. And so typically they're going to understand, and you would want it this way, that their quote is definitely valid until they get married, which is another reason why you want to quote with a range. So definitely, I think that would be fair because they do, you know, postpone sometimes, right? Let's see. Horizontal weight affects length. Yes, it definitely does. Definitely does. Chris, yep, she said I have more girls dropping weight. It's true. It's true. And you got to get their measurements early on. Make sure that's in your contract. But we're seeing a lot of that because of the shot right now, you know. We're seeing a lot more of that. So, let's see. Busiest bridal season, Malia. Ain't that the truth? It's been crazy. If you guys can, hit the like button real quick for me so that YouTube knows to push this out into YouTube land. But I hope all of these tips helped you guys on how to make the hem as long as possible when you've cut it too short. I showed you all my tricks, I know. You can also, if they're okay with it, if they didn't want their dress super full, you can also cut some wedges out of a crinoline layer if that's under there to reduce the fullness of the crinoline, or swap it out with a new lighter weight crinoline. There's lots of things you can do to make it a little bit longer. So I hope these tips have helped you guys to not get in a panic if it happens to you. But I hope you have a great rest of the week. I plan on seeing you guys back here Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. Because remember, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. That's what we're doing now to the end of the year. Next week, I'm at a conference. I'm not live streaming next week, okay? I'll put that in the community chat, though, for you. Got it? Yeah, Mary's got it. You guys have a beautiful week. I wish you lots of wonderful restorative sleep and very accurate fittings this week. Take care.